Out of 200 children in Class 5, 3/4 have pets. 40 children have a and German Shepherd 18 have a parrot. How many children have other kind of pet? You're right. 92 is the correct answer. Ramu's vegetable field has 9 equal parts. Which vegetable grows in the biggest part of his field? What part? Right choice. Tomato 3-9 is the best answer. Rada ate 60-19 portion of the cake. Sita ate 70-19 portion of the cake. How much portion of cake is left? Bravo, 6-19 is the answer.
Samira painted a rectangle shown in figure. What fraction of the rectangle is painted in red color?
Great job. 3/5 is the accurate answer.
There are 30 students in my class. 2 powers and 5 have brown hair. How many students have brown hair?
Valid point, 12 is true. Describe what kind of relationship the following question is asking you to write a ratio to describe. The team won 3 games and lost 9 games. What is the ratio of wins to games played? Smart move. Part to whole is an accurate answer. Nikita had 20 flowers. She gave 1/5 of flowers to Pooja, 3/10 to Radhika, and 1/4 of total flowers to Sanika. Now, who has the least number of flowers? Well reasoned. Pooja is the correct choice. Choose the correct fraction shown in the below figure. Well done. 1T3 is the right choice. I have 60 jelly beans. 1/3 are yellow. How many jelly beans are yellow? Exactly. 20 makes sense and it is right choice. Kalia has a bag with 14 marbles. There are 2 brown marbles, 3 green marbles, 7 blue marbles, and 2 yellow marbles. Which ratio shows blue marbles to green marbles? Smart pick. 7-3 is the correct choice. Write the fraction of pizza and also tell which kind of fraction it is. Strong choice. 1/8 unit fraction is the right answer. Choose the correct statement to show the fraction of shaded part. On track, 3/4 is the correct answer. In a garden, there are a total of 50 flowers, 2/5 of the total are roses, 1/5 the total are sunflowers, and the rest are lilies. How many lilies are there? Nice selection. 20 is the correct and valid answer. There are 12 eggs. 1/6 are green. How many are not green? Solid response. 10 is a valid choice. Look at the picture. How many 16 parts of strip will make 1P4? Good thinking. 4 is the right answer. Mohini has 45 pens. She gave 205 part of it to Pooja. Then Pooja gave 103 part of pens she received from Mohini to Nisha. How many pens does Nisha have? Well picked. 6 is the correct answer. At a fruit stand, there are 12 strawberries, 30 blueberries, 16 apples, and 14 bananas. Which ratio expresses strawberries to all fruit? Nice work. You chose 1P6 and it is correct. There are 35 chocolates in a box, out of which 325 are dark chocolates and 205 are white chocolates. Find the number of white chocolates in the box. Sharp thinking. 14 is the right choice. Which word means? Something that has mass and occupies space. It displays the properties of energy and gravitation when at rest as well as in motion. An correct response. Matter is the most accurate answer. Natalie bought 10 pizzas for a party. When the party was over, she noticed 1 or 5 of the pizza was gone. How much pizza did everyone eat at the party? You chose 2 pizzas, and it is correct. Somya's pineapple cake is bigger than Ragu's chocolate cake. Can we say that 1/3 part of pineapple cake is bigger than 1/43 part of chocolate cake? Nicely done. Yes is a solid answer. Find the number that goes in the part whole box. Correct. 2 is the right answer.
Which of the given figures are equivalent fractions?
Excellent choice. And D is the right answer. Find the fraction of the colored part in the shape. Excellent. 3/8 is a brilliant choice. Observe the figure and find the type of fraction. Perfect. Like fractions is the correct choice. What unit fraction is represented by the picture? Good job. Your answer 105 works well here. In a section of the jungle, there are 5 snakes, 3 pandas, and 2 tigers. What is the ratio of snakes to all animals in that part of the jungle? Great thinking. 1/2 is the right choice. The fraction representing the shaded portion is?
Right again. 1/3 is a valid answer.
Which is a principle stating that mass can be neither created nor destroyed, and that the total mass equals the sum of the mass of the parts. Yes. You got it. Your choice conservation of mass is right. Fractions that have the same value are called clear logic. Your choice, equivalent fractions, is sound and 100% true. Sujata had 55 kurtis. She gave 2/5 of her kurtis to Shreya and 2/11 of her kurtis to Priya. Then how many kurtis are now left with Sujata? Well done. 23 is the right choice. Anita has a chocolate cake. She gave 1/5 part of her cake each to Banu, Charan and Damini. What fraction of cake is left with her? Excellent. 2/5 is a brilliant choice.
What part of the circle is colored in green?
Good thinking. 7/12 is the right answer. This is an example of an improper fraction. Right choice. True is the best answer. What is the numerator of the fraction? Excellent choice. 3 is the right answer. A survey shows that 70% of people prefer chocolate ice cream. If 140 people participated in the survey, how many prefer chocolate? Good job. Your answer 98 works well here. Rahul has 60 mangoes. He gives 2/5 of mangoes to Manish and 2/15 of mangoes to Priya. Then how many mangoes are left with Rahul? Sharp thinking. 28 is the right choice. Does this shape have equal parts? Smart move. No is an accurate answer. A recipe calls for 2 cups of sugar, which is 25% of the total ingredients. How many cups of ingredients are needed in total? Perfect. 8 cups is the correct choice.
If a rectangle is divided equally into 6 parts and out of 6, 4 part is colored, then how many parts are not colored?
Nice selection. 2 of 6 is the correct and valid answer. In a bag of Skittles, 205 of the Skittles were green and 125 of the Skittles were red. How many Skittles were green and red? Nice work. You chose 3P5 and it is correct. In a library, 60% of the books are fiction. If there are 180 fiction books, how many books are in the library altogether? Nicely done. 300 is a solid answer. You have a rope that is 20 meters long.
If you cut off a piece that is 6 meters long, how long is the remaining piece?
Smart pick. 14 meters is the correct choice. Which picture shows 1, 2? Right again. Blue is a valid answer. Which ratio expresses the following? The team won 3 games and lost 9 games. What is the ratio of wins to games played? Correct response. 3:12 or 1K4 is the most accurate answer. A car can travel 300 miles on a full tank of gas. If it has used 75% of the gas, how many miles has it traveled? You got it! Your choice 225 miles is right. In a fruit basket, 25% of the fruits are apples. If there are 12 apples, how many fruits are in the basket? Well picked. 48 is the correct answer.
If 50% of a pizza is left and there are 8 slices remaining, how many slices was the pizza originally?
Clear logic. Your choice 16 is sound and 100% true. Based on the densities of the following liquids, which substance would float on the top of the others? Great job. Mineral oil is the accurate answer.
Priya has lost 5/60 of her weight. If her initial weight was 60 kgs, then what is her current weight?
Well reasoned. 55 kg is the correct choice. In a box, 30 marbles are there. 20 are black and rest are red. Then, how many black marbles are there? Strong choice. 2p3 is the right answer. Which word means E? The smallest part of an element that has the chemical properties of that element? Ah. Great thinking. Atom is the right choice. I had 4 pieces of an apple's dash. I ate 3 pieces. What is the fraction for the apple pieces I ate? Exactly. 3/4 makes sense and it is right choice.
Catherine has 3 cookies. She eats one of her cookies. What fraction represents the cookies she ate?
On track, 1p3 is the correct answer.
A recipe requires 3/4 cup of brown sugar and 1/4 cup of regular sugar. How much sugar is needed?
Valid point. 4/4 is true.
If I have 10 toffees and I have distributed half of them, then how many toffees are left with me?
Solid response. 5 is a valid choice. The teacher wrote the word telephone on the blackboard. What fraction of the letters are vowels? Bravo, 4b9 is the answer. A book has 400 pages and 25% of the pages are illustrations. How many pages are illustrations? You're right. 100 is the correct answer. Moby sliced an apple into 2 equal parts. He ate 1 slice. What fraction of the apple did he eat? Correct. 1/2 is the right answer.
A school has 200 students and 30% of them are in the band. How many students are in the band?
You chose 60, and it is correct. Pooja has 20 apples. She gives half of them to Rama. How many apples are now left with Pooja? Valid point. 10 is true. If A equal to 1/2 of 1/5 of 50 and B equal to 1/4 of 1/3 of 60, choose the correct option from the following. Exactly. A equal to B makes sense and it is right choice. There are 40 students in a class. 1/4 of them are boys. Then, how many girls are there? Correct response. 30 is the most accurate answer.
There are 15 apples in a basket. If you take 7 apples out, how many are left in the basket?
Right again? 8 is a valid answer.
How many equivalent fractions of a given fraction can be found out by multiplication method?
You got it. Your choice uncountable number of fractions is right.
Which word means the act of examining, noting and recording facts, especially for science. Good thinking. Observation is the right answer. If the whole is 25 and one part is 10 more than the other part, what is the smaller part?
Clear logic. Your choice 7 is sound and 100% true.
In a class, 25 children are there. 15 are girls, then how many boys are there in the class? Excellent. 2 pi 5 is a brilliant choice. Which word means the smallest part of a chemical that can exist? It is made up of atoms. Well done. Molecule is the right choice. The whole is 18, and one part is twice as big as the other part. What are the 2 parts? Excellent choice. 6 and 12 is the right answer. Which word means E, the gravity of any massive body that results from the pull of gravity. Sharp thinking. Weight is the right choice. Amen has 12 books. 1p3 of them are storybooks. Then how many storybooks does he have? Strong choice. 4 is the right answer. A class has 30 students. If 40% of them are girls, how many girls are in the class? Smart pick. 12 is the correct choice. What is the term for a substance that is only made of one type of atom or molecule? Nice work. You chose pure substance, and it is correct. Which word means something that serves to prove or disprove a claim or conclusion?
Correct. Evidence is the right answer.
Describe the relationship between the following 2 things. Strawberries to fruit? On track. Part to whole is the correct answer. Sleeping time of Natick is 1/4 of a day. How many hours does Natick sleep? Right choice. 6 is the best answer.
A book has 50 pages. If you have read 30 pages, how many pages are left to read?
You're right. 20 is the correct answer.
Which word means how able a type of substance is able to dissolve in a solvent?
Solid response. Solubility is a valid choice. If you have 20 marbles and you give away 8, how many marbles do you have left? Nice selection. 12 is the correct and valid answer. Describe the relationship between the following 2 things. Circles to shapes? Bravo. Part to whole is the answer.
When we compare 2 fractions having same denominators, we compare their dash.
Well reasoned. Numerators is the correct choice. A pizza is cut into 8 slices. If you eat 3 slices, how many slices are left? Well picked. 5 is the correct answer. Which word means key? To declare as a fact whether something is true or not true. Perfect. Claim is the correct choice. If the cost of 1 kg of apple is 120 rupees, the cost of 104 kg apple is dash. Great job. Ours 30 is the accurate answer.
If 344 equal to K8, then choose the correct option which fits at the place of.
Smart move. 6 is an accurate answer. If the denominator is 5 and the numerator is 2, then the fraction will be. Great thinking. 2 to 5 is the right choice. What is a word that means how tightly packed the molecules of matter are? You chose density, and it is correct. What will be the denominator of the equivalent fraction of 2b3, equal to 8 dash?
Nicely done. 12 is a solid answer.
The fraction composed of a whole number and a proper fraction is called.
Good job. Your answer, a mixed fraction, works well here. When 23.7 is converted into mixed fraction, its numerator will be dash. Valid point. 3 is true.
What is the name of the laboratory procedure used to separate mixtures?
Right again. Chromatography is a valid answer.
Price of 1 kg orange is Rs 20. Find cost of 2.5 kg oranges.
Great job. 50 is the accurate answer. If a pizza is divided into quarters, how many equal slices are there? You're right. 4 is the correct answer. What are the two parts if the whole is 12 and one of the parts is 7?
Smart pick. 5 and 7 is the correct choice. In 2.5, the difference between the denominator and the numerator is?
Well reasoned. 3 is the correct choice. How do we tell the difference between different kinds of matter? Solid response. Properties is a valid choice. Find the missing numerator. Draw to explain your thinking 2, 3 equal to. Do 9. Bravo, 6/9 is the answer. Which of the following pairs of fractions are unlike fractions? Nice selection. 6/8 and 5/7 is the correct and valid answer. Which property could be used to separate salt from ocean water? Or
Excellent. Size of molecules is a brilliant choice. When we convert 14.5 into mixed fraction, whole number will be.
you got it. Your choice 2 is right.
A fraction in which the numerator is less than the denominator.
Exactly. Proper fraction makes sense and it is right choice. Fractions which represent same or equal values are called dash. Correct response. Equivalent is the most accurate answer. What will be the equivalent fraction of 4/7 with numerator 36? Good job, your answer 36/63 works well here.
If the whole is 10 and one part is 6, what is the other part?
Strong choice. 4 is the right answer. Of the cup is filled. Then what fraction of the cup is empty? Nicely done. 2/19 is a solid answer. Which kind of variable is the data that you are recording?
Excellent choice. Dependent variable is the right answer.
Which of the following fractions is an improper fraction? Good thinking. 12/9 is the right answer. Number of Sundays in the month August right in fraction. Well picked. 5/31 is the correct answer. If the numerator less than the denominator is called as? Correct. Proper fraction is the right answer. Fill in the blanks from given options. 1t 10 dash a 7 100s. Nice work. You chose equal to and it is correct. Which of the following pairs are equivalent fractions? On track 2/3, 69 is the correct answer. Identify what type of fractions, 1/6, 1/8, 1/3.
Great thinking. Unit fractions is the right choice.
Which of the given fraction is not equivalent to 2 power 3? Well done. 12/36 is the right choice. Fractions having the same denominator are called dash. You chose like fractions, and it is correct. Which of the following option gives the least value? Sharp thinking. 2 pi 5 of 25 is the right choice. The denominator tells how many dash parts there are. Smart move. Whole is an accurate answer. Which of the following fraction is not equal to 3/6? Perfect. 4p7 is the correct choice. A dash is written as a whole number and a fraction. Right choice. Mixed fraction is the best answer. Which of the following option is equivalent to 2.7? Clear logic. Your choice 6/21 is sound and 100% true. Which word means the looks and traits of something?
Solid response. Properties is a valid choice. Fraction which has 1 in its numerator is called as.
Smart pick. Unit fraction is the correct choice. Which is the smallest among the given options? Correct 311 is the right answer. Which is a characteristic property of matter? You're right. Freezing point is the correct answer. Mathematics fraction the letter M in the word. Excellent. 211 is a brilliant choice. The numerator tells how many dash are shaded. Nice selection. Parts is the correct and valid answer. The fractions whose value are same are called. Well reasoned. Equivalent fractions is the correct choice. How do I write this fraction in English? 2 power 5.
Well done. 2/5 is the right choice.
Which is not an equivalent fraction of 4/10. 10. Good thinking. 8/15 is the right answer. What is the fraction of an hour in a day? Great thinking. Funty 24 is the right choice.
What is the numerator in the fraction 8p9?
Clear logic. Your choice 8 is sound and 100% true. 2 parts are 4 and 5. What is the whole? Sharp thinking. 9 is the right choice. 3/4 of a dozen toffees is dash.
Correct response. 9 is the most accurate answer.
What is the equivalent fraction of 3/7? Perfect. 6/14 is the correct choice. Which of the following is the smallest? You got it. Your choice 1 atom is right. Which will be a like fraction of 1/9? On track. 2p9 is the correct answer. 30 minutes as fraction of an hour is? Well picked. 1/2 is the correct answer. In a unit fraction, the numerator is? Exactly. 1 makes sense, and it is right choice. Which pair are equivalent fractions? Nice work. Use 1 played 2 and 2 before, and it is correct. Which fraction is greater than 1/2?
Valid point 3p4 is true.
20 paisa is dash part of 1 rupee. You chose 1/5, and it is correct. 75 paise as fraction of 1 rupee is.
Good job. Your answer 3 pari 4 works well here.
Half of 100 rupees is dash rupees. Smart move. Ask 50 is an accurate answer.
Which fraction is equivalent to 1? Excellent choice. 55 is the right answer.
Find the value of 1/6 of 48. Great job. 8 is the accurate answer. 6 hour as a fraction of a day is. Right again. 1/4 is a valid answer. Meters as a fraction of 1 km is. Bravo. 301,000 is the answer. Which is great. 25 or 25 of 4.
Nicely done. 25 of 4 is a solid answer.
Equivalent fraction of 513 is. Right choice. 25 of 65 is the best answer. The other dozen toffees is dash. Strong choice. 9 is the right answer. Find the difference part 4 of 15.
Nicely done. 35 is a solid answer.
Which is a proper fraction.
Sharp thinking. 2p3 is the right choice.
Select an improper fraction.
Excellent choice. 9/12 is the right answer.
What is all matter made of? Clear logic? Your choice, Adams, is sound and 100% true. 3 by 5 of 15 is dash. Good thinking. 9 is the right answer.
Quarter of 20 pence is dash.
Well done. 5 is the right choice.
And 18 to 81 are equivalent. Bravo, true is the answer.
How many 1b4 make whole?
Exactly. 4 makes sense and it is right choice. Is 3/5 greater than 2p5? Smart move. Yes is an accurate answer.
GS fraction of 1 kgs.
Nice work. You chose 1/2 and it is correct. 2 whole 3p4 is equals 2. Solid response. 11/4 is a valid choice. Of a year equal to dash months. Nice selection. 8 months is the correct and valid answer. 1/3 of 12 is dash.
Right choice. 4 is the best answer.
Of a day equal to dash hours.
Well reasoned. 20 hours is the correct choice.
1/2 of 10 is 5.
Correct response. True is the most accurate answer. 54 plus 24 equal to?
Great job. Sun 12/4 is the accurate answer. Fractions are. Great thinking. Parts of a whole is the right choice. 1/4 of 24 equal to. You chose 6 and it is correct. Unit fraction. Excellent. 1/6 is a brilliant choice. 5/28 equal to. Right again. 3t8 is a valid answer. Of 200 kgs? Well picked. 40 kgs is the correct answer. Is called as. You got it? Your choice unit fraction is right. 1/3 of 15 equal to. Strong choice. 5 is the right answer. Is equals to. Good job. Your answer 1 whole 3/4 works well here. And 1/9 are. On track. Unit fraction is the correct answer. Of.
Correct. 5 is the right answer.
of 4 is? Valid point. 3 is true. Plus 12, 3. Perfect. 29, 35 is the correct choice. Plus 4.
Smart pick. 7, 12 is the correct choice.
4. You're right. 4 by 4 is the correct answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format? Sharp thinking. Contact Narai and Chengder on Facebook is the right choice.